We made a video earlier in the offseason talking about the possibility of Vegas Golden Knights goaltender Marc-Andre Fleury getting traded back over to the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I say back over because he was taken by the Vegas Golden Knights in the expansion draft all those years ago. The Pittsburgh Penguins chose Matt Murray as their number one starter, and Marc-Andre Fleury went on to do pretty good things with the Golden Knights in his first year, leading that team to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, we know Marc-Andre Fleury is a guy who had success with Pittsburgh, several years, several cups, back-to-back finals appearances twice. Absolutely incredible resume for Marc-Andre Fleury. And the video we made back then discussed the idea of the Penguins maybe trading back for him in the upcoming future. Well, according to a few reports, it appears that the Pittsburgh Penguins almost did it. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. Let's go over onto Rob Rossi's Twitter account. He's a beat reporter over there for the Pittsburgh Penguins on The Athletic, and he made himself a few tweets that I wanted to read out over here, just to kind of gauge your responses. I'll say that. Bob McKenzie on TSN reported on Wednesday that the Pittsburgh Penguins tried to reacquire Marc-Andre Fleury during their GM search time period. He's referring to himself this time, Rob Rossi, also heard that they made inquiries, but those could be the same things. As he wrote this past summer, Marc-Andre Fleury prefers to end his career with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Here are a few more tweets. The bottom line is, even inquiring about Fleury from the Penguins is A, peculiar, as it was made by an interim GM, and B, it shows concern they have with the current goaltending situation. Casey DeSmith is starting at the New York Islanders for what it's worth. We also had another tweet that kind of wraps up everything here. Also, to clarify, I heard the Penguins made inquiries about Fleury in the offseason, not during the past 2 weeks. I think my original post left room for confusion, but if Bob reported it, he is the GOAT for a reason. For an extended look, we're going over onto Spectors Hockey on the yesterday edition of the article, so February 12th. This is what they write about the Penguins attempting to reacquire Fleury. Rutherford and the Penguins' assistant GM Patrick Alvin both tried to bring back the 35-year-old goaltender. However, the Golden Knights lacked the cap space to absorb part of his contract. So, oh my gosh, that video we made talking about how the Fleury could go back to Pittsburgh, it almost happened? Really? Fleury also wants to end his career in Pittsburgh? Bro. Is this not the ultimate kinda weird foresight train of events, I guess you could say, about the goaltending situation in Pittsburgh? Because remember, it was always Fleury and whoever else he had in the system for decades. Decade and a half pretty much. It was Fleury and that. But when Matt Murray came out of nowhere, started stealing games left and right and being a brick wall in the playoffs, the Penguins had a choice to make. And they made a choice. They chose Matt Murray over Marc-Andre Fleury. That's why Fleury went to Vegas, and then he actually did really well in Vegas, and he's still there to this day, doing pretty well still. The Penguins, though, ended up getting another hot young shot rookie goaltender in Tristan Jarry, who eventually took over the reins of the net over Matt Murray when they traded Matt Murray to the Ottawa Senators for a nice big hefty package. Murray signed a very big contract with the Sens, so I don't think Penguins fans are too upset about how that trade ended up going down. But now if you take a look at the Pittsburgh Penguins and their goaltending tandem, it is Jarry, it is DeSmith, it is whatever other fragments you have there when either DeSmith or Jarry get taken out with injuries. So I think it does kind of make sense on paper why they would want to go out there and acquire a very good veteran goaltender like Marc-Andre Fleury, especially considering the history he has with that team. It's just kind of funny because I didn't even really think that it would be possible to actually have something like that where he does return. We rarely see stars who leave their organizations come back, And I'm going to say that Marc-Andre Fleury is a star because, come on, the guy's got 3 cups. The guy's a champion in his own right. He's a very good player in this league and the past 20 years of this league. So to see a situation where maybe he was out there in the trade rumor mill where the Penguins were asking for him and the Vegas Golden Knights were listening, but they were like, sorry, man, we just can't clear the contract because we're going to have to absorb part of it, but we can't do that. If you go over to the cap-friendly page and take a look at everything going on for the Golden Knights do have a pretty sizable amount of cap space. I mean, $31,000? Yeah, I'm joking. That sucks. And Marc-Andre Fleury is making $7 million until 2022. Now, Robin Lehner is making $5 million. They re-signed him to that contract, and that takes him for the next half-decade. So I think it's pretty fair to say that the Vegas Golden Knights kind of have their guy for the future kind of locked up there. It's just whatever the heck they do now with Marc-Andre Fleury is the question. And because they have so little cap space, it does make sense that they wouldn't be able to absorb part of Fleury's salary. The Penguins are in a position where they don't really have too much cap space either, so it does make sense that they wanted the Golden Knights to hang on. The Penguins have $152,000 in cap space, so I think if there is a realm that sees a trade being made with Marc-Andre Fleury going back over to Pittsburgh because he does want to end his career there, I would assume there would be a third team. Like, we know the Penguins are not afraid to get involved in 3-team trades. We've seen it quite a bit in the past, the 3-team trade coming out here. We saw the Matt Duchene, Kyle Turris thing with the Colorado Avalanche, the Sens, and the Predators. Then we saw that big 3-way trade with the Derek Brassard thing. It was like Pittsburgh, Ryan Reeves, the Golden Knights, and the Senators again. So the Golden Knights and the Penguins have already made a 3-team trade in the past. The Senators have been involved in 2 of the recent big 3-team trades. I guess you could say the other one too with the San Jose Sharks and the Anaheim Ducks, where they exchanged minor players. So, you know what? I think there might have to be a 3-team trade here to actually make all the salaries and everything work, because Fleury is expensive, the Golden Knights don't have any salary cap room to save, and the Penguins don't either. It's just kind of funny to me because the Ottawa Senators have been involved in all the 3-team trades, and they still have cap space too. It's funny because they're also paying Matt Murray, so I don't know. I'm just kind of pulling stuff out of my own hat here, trying to make a narrative as to how things could go, but that's just kind of my thought process about it, you know? Talk to me in the comments what you think about Marc-Andre Fleury ending his career in Pittsburgh. Do you think it happens? In my opinion, because it's already so open out there, I wouldn't really be surprised if it did happen, especially if it goes under the means that I'm talking about here, where you kind of have to do a 3-team trade to take advantage of another team that has cap space to allow this to go through, because the other teams involved, they just simply don't. Unless, of course, you're Pittsburgh and you're trading away a very big, expensive asset like Chris Letang or something for Marc-Andre Fleury, which, now that I think about it, okay, that'd be absolutely crazy. Imagine trading the pieces of this Penguins core for other pieces of the Penguins core. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if there would be any other teams, though, that would be involved. Ottawa is one of them, I think. Just any of the other teams that I think have cap space would make sense. But Ottawa makes the most sense to me because they're so active in these 3-team trades. But yeah, you know, let me know in the comments what you thought about this idea, how the Penguins were apparently trying to get Fleury. It almost happened, but it wasn't happening because Fleury is an expensive contract and the Golden Knights couldn't take on any salary. Tell me what you think about Fleury wanting to retire in Pittsburgh, and do you agree with my own opinion here, where I say that there has to be a 3-team trade if you want to get Fleury back in Pittsburgh? Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.